Sometimes real-life politics just feels, well, stranger than fiction. And
Hmm.
that's definitely the vibe in Telangana right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's like watching a high-stakes family drama unfold, but it's all playing out in the political arena.
Exactly. And right at the center, you've got the Rashtra Samiti, the BRS,
Hmm.
and the key players. Well, there's K. Kavitha, a very prominent figure there, that her father, K. Chandrasekhar Rao, KCR, as everyone knows him, the former CM head of the party,
The patriarch.
right, and her brother, KT Rama Rao, or KTR, who, most people see as the one being groomed for the top spot.
The heir apparent, so to speak.
So the big event, the spark for all this, is this letter. 6 pages, apparently.
Yeah, supposedly written by Kavitha to her father, KCR, and get this, written way back on April 27th, 2025.
But it only just surfaced publicly, like May 22nd.
Exactly, and what was likely meant as a private internal communication has just exploded into the public domain.
Wow. So this isn't just, idle gossip.
Not at all. This has the real potential to, well, shake things up. Redefine power within the BRS, maybe even impact Telangana politics more broadly.
Okay. So that's our mission for this deep dive then. Let's really try to understand this letter, its significance, the reactions, or maybe more interestingly, the lack of reaction in some cases.
Yeah, and figure out what it all means, right, for the
Mhm.
BRS, for Telangana.
Yeah. We've been digging into the reports, the chatter online, trying to piece together the crucial insights for you.
And let's be clear from the start, this isn't some, simple Dear Dad note.
Hardly.
From everything we're hearing, it's more like a critique, a pretty sharp one, laying out a whole list of grievances Kavitha has.
Right. It sounds less like a chat and more like a formal, serious intervention. And apparently she didn't pull any punches.
No.
Big one seems to be accusing the BRS of going, well, soft on the BJP.
Which is fascinating, especially when you consider her own situation.
Exactly. Given her own legal issues involving central agencies, accusing her own party of being too cozy with the BJP, that feels personal, like a betrayal almost.
It really highlights a potential tension, doesn't it? Is the party focused on fighting the BJP, or perhaps is there some internal debate about strategy, maybe even self-preservation?
And it seems she didn't stop there. Reportedly criticized the party's whole political strategy as lacking, punch, like they aren't fighting hard enough.
That suggests a feeling, at least from her perspective, that the BRS isn't really mounting a strong enough opposition. A disconnect, maybe, between leadership strategy and her view from the ground, or perhaps her own strategic thinking.
And it gets more personal too, apparently, taking aim at KCR himself.
Saying he's inaccessible, out of touch with the grassroots party workers.
Oof, that's a serious charge. Suggests a potential weakening of that crucial link between the top and the base.
It really does. And if that connection phrase, it's hard for any party to function effectively. Plus, she apparently called out local leaders, too.
Yeah, local in-charges, saying they're ineffective, stagnant, paints a picture of a party maybe losing its energy at the ground level.
Which, again, points to maybe deeper systemic issues. If you've got problems at the top and the local level, well, that makes recovery after an election loss much harder.
And wait, there's more still. Something about cultural issues.
Yes, apparently she criticized the party's silence on things important to Telangana's identity, specifically mentioning Urdu and issues related to Waqf properties.
So she feels the party is neglecting parts of the state's cultural fabric, things important to certain communities.
It seems that way. She's linking political strategy directly to cultural representation, which is quite pointed. It could be seen as positioning herself as a champion for those specific interests within the party.
Okay, but the line that's really got everyone talking, the really dramatic bit.
Yes. The coverts and evil forces surrounding KCR.
Right, and that quote, KCR is God, but demons surround him. I mean, you really can't make this stuff up.
It's incredibly dramatic language. It injects this element of, well, suspicion, maybe even paranoia. She's suggesting internal enemies, external forces. It's very ambiguous, but very powerful.
It definitely feels like more than just constructive criticism at that point. It feels like, I don't know, a power play,
Could be.
especially with KTR seen as the rising star. This feels like Kavitha staking her claim, reminding everyone she's still a major force to be reckoned with in the BRS.
That's a really important dimension. It's not just family criticism, it's political maneuvering within that family structure, which is the party structure, essentially.
Which leads us right into why this letter is causing such political, well, tremors. It's way bigger than just a family stat gone public.
Absolutely, because the BRS is the KCR family in so many ways. Their identity, their brand, it's all tied up together.
So a letter like this from Kavitha. It's not just airing dirty laundry. It could expose real cracks in the foundation. It hits at their core political asset, that image of unity.
And the timing, as you mentioned earlier, it couldn't be more sensitive.
Right. The party's still trying to find its feet after losing the 2023 elections.
Exactly. So internal discontent was probably already simmering. This letter just pours fuel on that fire.
And the fact it was written in April, but only leaked in May, suggests these tensions aren't new. They've been building.
Precisely. Then there's that BJP angle again. Her criticism about the party going soft.
Especially given her legal situation.
It's incredibly bold. It's like she's drawing a line, maybe positioning herself as the one willing to take a harder stance against the BJP, whatever the party's overall calculation might be.
It definitely highlights a potential split in strategy at the very top.
And then there's the mystery. How did this private letter even get out?
Right. Kavitha herself apparently hinted at internal sabotage.
Which just adds another layer of intrigue, doesn't it? Who did it? Why now? It suggests factions, power plays happening behind the scenes.
Absolutely. The leak itself creates this cloud of distrust within the party. Who can you trust if private letters are ending up in public?
Exactly. Who benefits from this leak? That's a huge unanswered question.
So ultimately, you could see this letter as Kavitha maybe feeling sidelined, with KTR taking a more central role.
And this is her way of asserting her continued relevance.
Yeah, reminding everyone, her father, the party faithful, the public, that she's still a significant player. Don't count her out.
It's a classic move in personality-driven politics. Making sure your voice is heard, your influence felt, especially during a period of transition or uncertainty for the party.
Okay, so let's shift focus slightly. What about KTR's silence through all this?
Yes. That's been very noticeable.
He's usually so active, especially online, very quick with responses. But on this, nothing. It's conspicuous.
It really is. And there could be several reasons for it. One possibility is, well, it's strategic.
How so?
As the guy seen as the next leader, maybe he's deliberately trying not to escalate things. Avoid a public fight with his sister.
Right. Keep a lid on it. Project Unity, even if it's not really there.
Exactly. A public spat between the siblings would look terrible for the party, especially now. It could really damage that family brand they've built.
That makes sense. Protecting the image, especially after the election loss, would be paramount. A public feud just gives ammunition to their opponents.
And you also have to factor in KCR's influence.
Oh, definitely. The patriarch.
It's entirely possible KCR himself told KTR to stay quiet. Let me handle this. Part of a larger strategy to control the narrative from the top.
Keep it contained. Manage it his way. Given KCR's history, that sounds plausible. He wouldn't want KTR inadvertently fanning the flames.
Absolutely. Plus, if KTR did respond, what happens? It instantly becomes KTR versus Kavitha.
Yeah, a public sibling power struggle. That could split the party right down the middle.
So staying silent avoids that direct confrontation, avoids deepening those potential divisions. It seems like the safer play for KTR right now.
Okay, so if KTR's silence is likely calculated, maybe even directed by KCR.
Yeah.
What's KCR's angle here? Why keep KTR quiet when his own daughter is making these public criticisms?
Well, KCR is a master strategist, right? Damage control has to be number one.
For sure.
He knows any public back and forth, especially between his kids, is political gold for Congress and the BJP. They'd jump all over it.
It'd be like handing them attack ads on a silver platter, basically. So silence maintains at least an appearance of control.
Exactly. And it reinforces his own authority. As head of the family, head of the party, he likely wants to deal with this internally, behind closed doors.
Sort of a this is my house, all sorted out approach.
Pretty much. It signals that he's still in charge, he'll handle his daughter's concerns, but maybe not in the way she provoked by going public, or rather, by the letter becoming public.
So it's about managing Kavitha's challenge without necessarily validating it through a big public response from KTR.
Could be. Address her points privately, perhaps, but maintain control over the public story.
And what about that tricky BJP relationship?
Yes. That's crucial. If KTR jumps in and responds directly to the soft-on BJP charge, it could force the party's hand, commit them to a stance prematurely.
Whereas KCR might want to keep his options open. Play it cool.
Exactly. Given the BJP's rise, KCR might prefer strategic ambiguity for now. Silence from KTR allows that flexibility. Any statement could limit their room to maneuver later.
And finally, there's still the leak itself. KCR must want to know who did that.
Oh, absolutely. Investigating a leak is probably a top priority internally.
So keeping KTR quiet avoids tipping off the leaker, or maybe avoids revealing just how dumb the internal divisions go while they figure things out.
Precisely. Any public reaction could complicate that internal investigation. Better to keep things quiet while they hunt for the source.
Okay, so let's recap where we are right now. Roughly May 26th, 2025. What do we know for sure?
Well, we know Kavitha confirmed she wrote the letter. She hasn't backed down from her main criticisms.
Right. And the leak itself is still a huge point of controversy.
And KTR remains silent. Those are the key confirmed facts.
And the speculative parts. Who are these coverts? What's the real BRS-BJP relationship? Still up in the air.
Very much so. Lots of debate, lots of speculation, but few concrete answers on those points yet.
So looking ahead, what happens next for the BRS? It feels like KCR has to step in somehow, right?
It seems almost inevitable. He'll likely need to intervene, try to mediate, maybe reassert his control, and try to bring everyone back into line, at least publicly.
Could involve private talks? Maybe addressing the party leadership?
Probably both. He'll need to manage his daughter's expectations and his son's role and project unity outwards.
But what if Kavitha feels like she's being ignored? Could she push harder?
That's definitely a possibility. If she feels her concerns aren't being taken seriously behind closed doors, she might try to build support internally or even escalate things publicly again. That could mean more friction.
And if KTR does eventually break his silence, what would that even sound like?
Oh, it would have to be incredibly carefully crafted.
Total focus on unity.
Almost certainly. Emphasize party goals, commitment to Telangana, downplay any personal conflict. He wouldn't likely engage directly with her specific criticisms, just try to move the narrative forward.
And meanwhile, the opposition, particularly the BJP, they must be watching this like hawks.
Oh, you bet. Any sign of internal weakness or division in the BRS is an opportunity for them. They'll be looking for ways to exploit the situation for their own political gain in Telangana.
So for you listening, especially if you're in Telangana, this isn't just palace intrigue. It could genuinely affect the direction of a major state party.
Absolutely. And even if you're listening from elsewhere, it's just a fascinating real-world example of family, power, politics all colliding.
That interplay between personal relationships and political ambition is really stark here.
It really is.
So maybe a final thought for you to mull over. What are the long-term consequences going to be? This letter, this whole episode, will it ultimately force the BRS to confront some tough issues and maybe come out stronger?
Or will the internal friction just weaken them further, especially with rivals looking to capitalize?
It's a huge question. And the answer will likely unfold over the coming weeks and months. Definitely a story to keep watching.